A lot of new photographers think that they're looking for a specific style. You know, kind of like it's something that's waiting for them, somewhere between their next lens purchase and their next camera body. But I'm here to tell you that choosing your visual identity is a lot different than what most people make it out to be. Most photographers spend years trying to become something. You know, maybe you're a minimalist, maybe you're a street photographer, documentarian, you're a cinematic storyteller, you know, whatever sounds good in a bio. But your visual language doesn't come from what you call yourself. It comes from what you can't stop photographing. And today, we're breaking that down. Hi, my name is Jared Thomas Tapie. I'm a social documentary photographer and educator here in New York City, and you're watching my YouTube channel. Across my social media platforms, I've created 5 segments, each of which discuss certain aspects of photography. Crafting a photograph, life through the lens, marks of the maker, the creative connection, and tools of the trade, with a new one that just came out called Field Notes. And this segment is from Crafting a Photograph, the series dedicated to making better artists and turning you from just taking pictures to crafting a photograph with your own unique vision and voice. Let's start with something that most photographers ignore, and it's the fact that your themes that you're drawn to are not random. Really, they're kind of like psychological breadcrumbs. If you've been shooting for long enough, you probably have recognized this. You keep taking the same photos, different locations, different days, but that same feeling, that's not a coincidence. That's you. Photographers love to say that they're documenting the world, but more often than not, you're just documenting the way that you see the world and how you view yourself. Things like what you're drawn to, loneliness, chaos, intimacy. These aren't just aesthetic preferences, they're emotional recognition. Some people photograph chaos because chaos raised them. Some people photograph quiet because they can't find it anywhere else. Some people photograph strangers because looking inward feels like a door that they're not ready to open themselves. You could put 100 photographers in the same exact place and they'd all walk away with something completely different. Why? Because people don't photograph what's in front of them. They photograph what's inside them. Now let's talk about color, because photographers really like to say that they choose their color palettes, like it's some calculated intellectual decision. It's not. If your work leans towards blues, you might be a little bit more drawn to things like melancholy. If your work is warm, golden, sort of nostalgic, it could say that you're chasing comfort. And if your blacks are so deep that they feel like they swallow all of the light in the scene, that's not just a stylistic choice, it's an emotional one. Color is like your emotional shorthand, a sort of internal weather system. It's sort of like your mood disguised as a photograph. Now this is where things get a little bit more interesting. Gesture. And that's because gesture is a part of the photograph that you don't control. I mean, nobody goes out into the streets and thinks, I'm gonna photograph somebody exhaling smoke in this certain way. It just happens. You see it, something in you reacts, and before your brain can even catch up, you've already pressed the shutter. That's called instinct. Some photographers choose loud gestures, movement and drama and conflict. Others choose quiet ones, maybe a glance, a shift in posture. Gesture isn't a choice, it's more so like a confession. You want to know what you care about? Look at what you stop for. You want to know what moves you? Just look at what you can't walk past. Now let's talk about one of the principles of photography, composition. Because your composition isn't just technical, right? And I know I have a tendency to think about things a little bit too hard sometimes, but in my eyes, composition isn't just technical. I feel like I can know everything about a person based off of the way that they compose an image. Composition, again, isn't just technical, it's philosophical. If your frames are clean and minimal and balanced, you see order in a way that others don't. Even if your life doesn't have any order. If your frames are chaotic and layered and messy, chances are you've accepted something that a lot of people need to accept, and that's that the world is chaotic, the world is messy, and you're not trying to fix that. You're trying to show it. If your subjects are always centered, you like control, or clarity, or certainty. If your subjects are on the fringes of your frame, maybe you feel the same way. Present, but not centered. You know, we talk about rules in photography a lot. Rule of thirds, leading lines, but let's be honest. Those rules should just be training wheels. That instinct that you have is like the real engine to the car that is your photographic journey. And your instinct, that's your worldview. Here's the truth at what I'm trying to get at here, right? Your visual language doesn't come from your best photos. Your visual language comes from your unintentional ones. You know, the throwaways, those in-between moments, those times where you didn't overthink anything. Those are your real signature, because those are the ones that were made without performance, without ego, and without trying to be seen a certain way. The moment that you stop trying to impress people is the moment that your work finally starts to look like you. Not like your favorite photographer, not like what's trending, and especially not what performs well. Eventually, you'll notice these patterns. The themes and the colors and the gestures and the compositions and your signature. And then you'll hit a crossroad, without a doubt. Do you lean into them or do you challenge them? If you lean in, you build consistency, clarity, and a body of work. But if you challenge them and you grow and you evolve, you avoid becoming predictable. And that's because your style shouldn't be about repetition, it should be about recognition. Your signatures are tools, they shouldn't be crutches. At a certain point, you'll come to realize that you're not just out there documenting the world, you're documenting yourself. Photography then becomes a conversation about what you see and what you feel. Your eye becomes almost autobiographical, and your work starts to become confessional. And eventually you'll come to realize that your images are a map of a place that you don't fully understand yet, but that's the point. So here's the takeaway. Your visual language isn't something that you invent, it's something that you uncover. It's already there. It's in your patterns, in what you recognize, in your instincts. Your job is to notice it, to refine it, and then use it with intention. Because the moment that you do that, everything changes. Alrighty guys, that's going to be it for this lesson of crafting a photograph. I hope that you guys were able to pick up on some things and hopefully it was helpful, educational. These are just some philosophies that I've read through some fantastic books like Soul of the Camera and The Heart of the Photograph by David Duchovny. I'm a big advocate for all of his books. David Duchovny is great, and those were some of the first books that I read on photography when I started my career. And it's just something that I think that a lot of newer photographers kind of need to hear as they're getting into developing their own visual language. Yeah, I hope that this was informational and educational and all the different O's. Thanks so much for joining. You can find me on Instagram at Jared Tapey. You can find me on TikTok at Jared Thomas Tapey _, and then on Substack with a coordinating article to this video at The Creative Connection. So that's really it. There's nothing else left to say except get out there and get shooting, and I'll see you guys in the next one.